Welcome back to the Unrivaled Potential Podcast. Thanks
Morning,
for
guys.
spending your Thursday morning with us. We're giving Mike medical attention because he turned 35 and his body just fell apart, which is what happens. Happened to me when I turned 25, and then again when I turned 40, which is not yet happened, but it's on the way.
40? Really? I thought you were turning 51 or something.
51. Asshole. Yeah, I'm going to be 40. Just moment of silence.
Yeah. It's the funniest thing, though, but I can't imagine, even 5 years from now, it still doesn't feel like, when I look back when my dad turned 40, I was like, wow.
That dude is old.
That is like half of his life is gone, and like how old must he feel, right? This is incredible. We've hit a pillar in this or whatever in this this roadmap or however the statement goes.
Definitely
that was supposed to come out a milestone. There you go. That was supposed to come out a whole lot smoother.
Some milestones
than it was.
look like pillars.
Yeah, maybe that's what it was. I was confused, but and then I'm sitting at 35 years old going, 5 years from now, it's not going to be that bad.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Well, I remember thinking 24, that's the year, right? Like you're old enough to do everything.
And then downhill from there.
You're kind of a grown up and stuff like that. And then when I got there, I was like, yeah, all right, 24. You're as young as you decide to be.
Yeah.
I know I think I've used this analogy like 3 or 4 times just with you, hopefully not with the podcast people, but my dad, my father-in-law, and one of our family friends are all 60, they're all 70 now, within like a couple months of each other, and a couple of them are in great health and really vital and living life and chasing dreams and stuff like that, and at least one of them is just sliding into the sunset as they he just put himself out to pasture, and he's ready for that sweet kiss of death.
Yeah.
Give me cancer now, God. Yeah. So you want to talk about something, or just talk about we getting old?
Oh, we probably get off the subject of getting old, I guess. Yeah.
Because we're not old.
No. Oh, this back thing hasn't happened for, I don't know, a year and a half, so it's pretty good. I can still outlift all the guys at the gym, or the guys here, not all of them. There's a couple of roided ones that go up there, and there's just no way.
Well, all right, on that note.
Moving right along.
Moving right along.
Yeah.
So aside from your back going out, it's already been a pretty good week. Got a radio commercial cut, got some customer problems solved, got the...
I don't know whether we got them solved, but at least talked them through it.
Yeah. So if you're in a business where you don't have any customer issues, just hold on tight because you're the only one.
Yeah. What kind of business would that be? If you own a business that you don't have any customers.
Maybe massage therapy. All your customers are happy because they just got a massage.
Well, I don't know if that's true. Well, there's two different thought processes there, right? In the normal sense of what have you hit a sore spot, and some people don't appreciate that, right? Well, then you got to. I don't know whether this happens or not.
Half naked cranky person.
You get a half naked cranky person. And that's one way to look at it. I don't know whether that happens. We'd have to ask that Dion if that's one of those things that happens. Shout out, and then, what if you go to them expecting a happy ending and you can't get one,
Then you'd be a very unhappy customer.
I paid $20 for what?
That's why that Asian massage parlor got shut down.
Now, why you got to bring Asians into it? Geez.
No, but for real, that's why it got shut down. It's
9 times out of 10. It's the hands. I don't know.
And I would call them by name, but their name was just Asian massage. So I'm not stereotyping. I'm not being racist. That's just what they call themselves.
Yeah. Well,
because they know. People are like, "Oh, Asian massage. Let me go."
We know what that means. Yeah. We trained back in the war. Now,
back in Nam. This is whole other country.
yeah.
I'm going to Vietnam, Jenny. Anyway, dealing with customer issues, always fun.
Yeah.
Any words of wisdom for the up and coming business owners out there who maybe they haven't had their first customer issue, or they haven't successfully dealt with one yet?
Yeah. I feel like I've gotten more impatient with them, right? But it's certainly something I like. Even yesterday, it was actually Sunday afternoon when I first started seeing some of these emails, and my impatience, I got pretty irritated. I guess I'd just say that, and then I was sitting there going like, well, I mean, they got valid complaints, but not necessarily against me. Some of it just came from somebody else's opinion, and that's the last thing you need is in your business is someone else's opinion, and some of them answered their own argument in the text that was wrote in emails or by ever on Google. And by the time yesterday had come around, I realized I had very little empathy, understanding, to a certain level, but not to be, I'm tired of being talked to like that. I've come to the point where it's like, you have no understanding of where I'm coming from. Just call me or talk to me, send the emails. And that's the part that I appreciated. I got 2 emails and we responded to them and tried to call them and they didn't answer, but we did respond back in email. It just was like, hey, we understand what you're going through. And we do get that. Some of these things were adjusted, but simply we followed policies and this is what we did. And I've just come to that point where I don't feel bad. All the guys, if they're following the policies that are in place, then I don't have to apologize to anyone.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to say I'm sorry because I didn't do anything wrong. And oftentimes they make you feel like that, but I'm just glad. I mean, one of them just went straight to Google, but the other 2 sent out emails and then we were able to reach back out to them. And those are good people, and I want to take care of them in that they tried to come to us first and it's like, hey, we'll talk it through. Now we'll see what they do after that. Usually the next step is then they go straight to Google and see if they can somehow
extort something out of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Half the Google reviews in the world, actually probably like 3/4 are out there because somebody thinks they're going to get something for free if they leave a bad review.
Yeah. I can't, for the sake of this company, I have to be the person that looks at the numbers and goes, this is okay. Right. So there's no weakness allowed, because as soon as I say, well, yeah, maybe we should be like everyone else, then everyone will follow suit. Right. So it's tough in these moments that happen because it brings a lot of doubt in the room when, the emails come in like that, 3 complaints in one weekend, all very similar. There's the doubt that hits all these guys' minds that goes, well, maybe we should charge less, and do like 90% of the companies.
Yeah. Well, I don't think God wants us to be like 90% of the people. No. I sure as heck don't want to be like 90% of the people and have a 90% life. Sounds pretty miserable.
Right.
That's profound leadership, saying, hey, I have to maintain the standard and I have to be unwavering in my commitment to the company and the pricing and just the philosophy. Because like you said, you can see it turn just like that if you get negative about something or go wishy-washy about something. You got 5 or 6 guys looking at you going, oh yeah, it's okay if I give this person a little bit better deal, or maybe I don't follow policy on this thing because she's an old lady or whatever. And it literally takes seconds to wreck 6 months worth of work.
Yeah.
So good on you for being wise enough to see that, and even strong enough to follow through with that, because that's the other half. Like, half of us know, like, oh yeah, if I do this, then I'll reap the rewards. But a lot of people just, 90% of people just aren't strong enough to do it.
Well, I don't know. I can't say that I'm strong enough to a point, but I still have my weaknesses in the sense of there's still lots of things on the managerial side that I'm not the best at, right? I still got a soft spot, and I shoot myself in the foot all the time when I'm out in the field. Talking to customers, and I mean, talking to them is fine, but billing out the work and stuff, there's still the big part in my head is like, oh yeah, it's fine. It's just me. My time's not worth much. I'll just, and so that's why I'm not out in the field. So it hasn't happened in ages, but there's been times, it's like, oh yeah, it's just a Friday night at 7:00 and I'll just do this thing for, nothing, and I'm really bad for that.
So another valuable lesson to you owner operators: your time is worth even more than your guys' time, because you're probably more skilled, definitely more invested. Don't sell yourself short, because nobody else is going to bill for your time. You have to.
Yeah. And I'll get better at it, especially when I get to these public speaking arrangements, and they pay me like $100,000 to come up on stage.
You want me to be your hype man when you do that? Go up on stage and be like, "Ladies and gentlemen, it's Mike
MC McKee. Yeah, just
MC Mick." It's just Mick.
Yeah, I don't know whether I'd be the hype kind of.
Oh, sorry.
Hype kind of event.
Just threw myself into that one.
Yeah,
I don't have to.
I don't need a Little John or something, but
what?
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know where I was going with that.
Well, part of that is self-esteem. As Mike, the guy who's charging $100,000 for a speaking engagement, that they think you're valuable enough, and so you're going to really charge for your time. As Mike the plumber, you're like, I've only been doing this a couple of years, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm not quite that good. And the devil's just like, yeah,
right.
You suck, Mike. Everybody knows it. Just you haven't figured it out yet. Screw the devil. Stomp on it. Anyway, don't believe it. It's not true.
Right.
It's not true for you. It's not true for you guys. Value your time. Realize that you've put in the time. Close to 20 years worth of experience in plumbing, and all the 100-hour weeks of building this company. Yeah, your time is a little bit more valuable than the guy who, no offense to people in your company, who last year was pouring concrete slabs, and that was the extent of his skill.
Right.
Great guy, learning fast, but he does not have your experience or talent, and he won't for years. So when he gets that point, then you should charge him out at $500 an hour too.
I do. Yeah.
No, I mean,
yeah.
Just him,
yeah.
Add extra for the van, the secretary, and the insurance.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway.
No, and that's very true. I mean, you got to grow to the next level, right? Self-esteem's got to come with that. And I've never had, whenever you reach a whole new level of where you can bring value, even in doing this podcast, right? I mean, a couple of years ago, we hadn't thought about it. So it's, thought about it maybe, but like why would people want to listen to that? Well, it's like, well, it brings value. So then we'll find out, like, okay, how do we take it to $100,000 stage? Some of it's just learning how to speak, and some of it's just writing it down. I feel like people would be pretty pissed off if they spent $100,000 and you stood on stage and just panicked.
Hey, how's everybody doing? I'm Ryan from Colorado. Anybody from Colorado?
Yeah. Oh, what kind of coming back there? Oh boy, hey. Yeah. Couple of hosers back there.
How'd you guys get out here? Bus?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Well,
shout out to my bus boys. Whoop, whoop. Yeah.
My bus boys. All my bus boys out there cleaning the tables. and also riding the buses. Whatever, short bus.
Short bus drivers.
Shout out to my short bus peeps.
Yeah,
that's me. Can't say short bus anymore. It is the vertically challenged autobus. I don't know. Anyway,
it's not vertical, is it? I mean, it's horizontal. Yeah.
Short is. Yeah, I was really grasping there.
Yeah, just grasping for something. Yeah.
Hanging on the edge of a cliff, just trying to not make a fool of myself. So you talk about not having thought about the podcast. Ever since I was a little boy, listening to talk radio, in my granddad's living room, which is totally made up, but I always thought it would be really cool to be like a talk radio or sports talk radio guy, because you just get to sit there and talk about stuff that you like for hours at a time
and rant and just get wound up, like listen to Rush Limbaugh, get excited. I mean, you just get excited, like
they're communists and they're coming after all of us.
His heart gave out. Jeez, you just get excited.
I think he died of cancer.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah. But hey, maybe it was cancer of the heart. Who knows? I don't know. Yeah, but I thought make really good money and just sit around talking about the stuff that you are interested in.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Let me do that. So you may not have thought about podcast. Yeah, sponsors. You may not have thought about podcasting, but
Here, pop your mic up. It's underneath your shirt. There you
go. Oh,
you're quiet now.
Small voiced one.
Yeah.
Make sure your mic's working this week. Yeah. So yeah, this has always been a dream for me. So just sitting here talking to my buddy Mike and all of you guys. So thanks for making that possible.
Yeah.
I'd like to thank Mike and Rody for the mics.
Rody.
Is that how you say that? I don't
know.
Yeah. Road. It's French.
No, I did. I think, 4 years ago was it when podcasting kind of got popular?
So
5 years ago.
So Drew Lowen, our buddy, the podcasting aficionado, he was saying that apparently podcasting died around COVID. I was thinking, like, I didn't even know it was alive until COVID. That's when I started really listening to podcasts. So we're behind the times. So it started 10, 15 years ago. We got on the bandwagon really late.
No, jumped on the bandwagon.
When it was already dead, apparently.
Well, that makes sense.
But podcasting's not dead. I just keep telling myself that.
See, and I was always like Audible, audio books.
Yeah.
But I don't think I've been listening to Pandora since it started, and I don't think I ever listened to a podcast on there. But it's like 10, 15 years. And I think probably the first one I started listening to was 2 years ago, maybe 3. That was Gary Brecka. But
you throw out all these names. I've never even heard of these people. You good?
Gary Brecka is fantastic for, so like what they call it now, it's a trendy term, right? It's called biohacking. So this whole idea is if you come to you get to the point where you have so much money, what's your only purpose then? So if you make $100 million, they say after you make $100 million, unless you want to buy massive jets, like buy them, then there's no point in having any more than that.
Those things.
Yeah. So, then you have to be a billionaire if you want to own like jets, because it's like 70 million for but lifestyle doesn't change when you have 100 million. That's what you need for, you can do whatever you want, right? Set to go. Okay. So that's a good goal, right? So after you get to that point, if you're a billionaire, what do you put your money into? Well, you don't need to make money anymore. So you've got your businesses. Right? Exactly. You want to live forever. So they call it biohacking. Mm-hmm. So Gary Brecka has come out in the midstream of that, and he went popular. Grant Cardone sponsored his company, and they kind of 10x it, so he got really popular on the media like that. But I've been listening to him before that happened. And
he goes back to the ground floor. He's one of the originals.
He's very, very, very good on just natural ways to heal your body.
Yeah.
And so I enjoy listening to him. He's very, very easy to listen to, I guess you should say, on the health side of things.
So he's not like a total nut.
He's not a nut, not, walk outside and smear yourself in these lotions underneath the ground and then, while the sun's beating you and you're standing on the rocks You have to rub aloe vera mixed with pumpernickel.
And some lavender
Got to have some lavender in there to heal
some
everything.
Lavender essential oils.
Yeah. And if you did all of that while eating at the perfect time of day, 3 tablespoons of salt mixed. There's some guys that make it really complicated. Yeah, it's raw pork. Yeah. And some guys make it really complicated, and he really simplifies it. So I've enjoyed listening to him for a few years and got one of his books. And so he's been podcasting. Now he brings on other guests, and I enjoy listening to some of them, and some of them I agree with, some of them I don't. I think you can go too far with the whole health nut thing, but it was part of what I was raised with. Not health nut, but there was trends.
Natural, right? Healthy stuff.
Some of it was natural, some of it was just trends, and then it was are those chicken nuggets, Mom? Wow, they're kind of like chicken nuggets, but they're without the chicken. Yeah. Oh. And I read it in a book, and she said, and she'd bring home all these new trendy, like, are those hot dogs, Ma? They don't smell like hot dogs.
What's wrong with my hot dog, Mom?
Yeah, it's like, for some reason, it's just, I turned the water a weird color. Well, they're made out of veggies, yeah. And that was really trendy when I was a kid, which then transferred into my adult life, where I got into a lot of that stuff and enjoyed it. But at the time, I suffered really through my childhood with some of these foods. It's not healthy
we love you, Mom, but yeah, we've all been there.
Yeah. Yeah. We better boil this zucchini in little slices. That way it gets all floppy. And then we'll put it on your plate, and you'll have to eat it because it's good for you. Because I read it in a book, even though zucchini's like 97% water, you have to eat this boiled zucchini before you can go to soccer practice, else you can't go to soccer practice.
Yeah, because you'll fall down dead on the field.
Well, yeah, you got to have your food. If you skipped a meal at, 9 years old,
oh man, yeah. Can't even imagine. They called me the garbage disposal. At that age, I was just like, we got more food, okay. Yeah. Why would I ever have a weight problem? Yeah.
I felt like the same way, but it was more of a, why do I have to eat this with my fake chicken nuggets?
So my mom, she stayed more natural, but she healthed up everything in the best way that she knew how, which was mostly adding whole wheat flour to everything. So 2004 flashback. I'm in Iraq.
They changed the yeah, good. Yeah.
And people are getting care packages and all kinds of good stuff from their moms and wives and things like that. And I get a care package from my mom. Great stuff. Thanks, Mom. I do appreciate it. But she sent brownies, homemade brownies, which I love brownies. They're one of my favorite desserts of all time. But she made them with whole wheat flour. And it's like, Mom, I could die at any moment on the battlefield, and you're sending me whole wheat flour brownies? Thanks a lot. And some of the guys wouldn't even eat them. They were like, what's wrong with these brownies? But we laugh about that to this day, and it's been 20 years. So I'm not in danger of hurting my mom's feelings. Well, probably.
You never know.
Just about everything. But I have joked about this with her, because it's like, you don't have to health everything up. Like sometimes you just want to eat some homemade brownies.
Some of them are just they're just garbage trends, right? That they were so popular, like brown rice. I mean, that's just there was just a selling tactic and good marketing. And brown rice is way worse for you.
Oh, really?
Oh, it's horrible.
Huh. Yeah, but that was another thing. She'd always make, we're gonna make brown rice because it's got nutrients in it.
Yeah.
There you go. It's a perfect example. So we're discovering the carnivore diet, and all my life I've been like, I gotta get my fruits and veggies. It makes me feel better. It's better for me and all this stuff. And
it's just a lack of carbs.
I don't know if carnivore is the answer, but it is kind of amazing, what their research shows on not eating fruits and vegetables, or at least in the volume that I was eating them in. Because I thought, hey, I need 5 vegetables a day, because that's what
So you guys were doing the whole 30 around Christmas time or New Year's. Yeah. Now you're switching. That's what. Well, I was going to ask you that the other day when we were having that bagel, and you were like, "Hey, carnivore." Or doing the carnivore thing, and I wondered how far you were going with that. I have a really good book you should read.
So I won't read it. Thank you though. I'll pass it along to Ashley.
You're just following suit. I get.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't.
Well, when you got to cook at home,
I don't seek any of these things out. Yeah, I go along with the trend because she's cooking, and by all means, I'm happy to be healthier. But she is the driving force. And she's really good at this. She does all her own research and goes out and finds the healthiest ways to do things. But my point being, like 5 years ago, X was super healthy, and now it's like, nah, it's actually giving you cancer.
Yeah.
It's so frustrating. And so that biohacking stuff, she just watched a documentary on the guy who wants to live forever, and he's a billionaire who they're tracking.
A trillionaire.
Is he?
Oh yeah.
Well, he is now that they did all that Netflix stuff.
Well, probably even more so. I guess he was a trillionaire beforehand. He sold something that was a third party use from Microsoft. And but yeah, he's made himself look 20 years younger than he is, but talk about creepy looking.
Yeah, it's very weird.
Like, you can't move your face all the way. I get it, And
yeah. So
people can do whatever they want, but
and I will never get that serious about it, because I think, especially, for a guy like that, that's total idolatry. Like, he is worshiping on the altar of
what kind of life? Just stuck in your lab tests for the next. Yeah.
Test my blood. All right, I'm going to work out, eat some crap that doesn't taste good, and then come back and test my blood again. That's my day. Just
to market a product, which is basically, here, buy my pill. It's got everything you need.
Which is funny, because he's a trillionaire and he doesn't need to sell anything. And I get it to a point. Like, this guy, he literally thinks, what else do I have to live for? Well, I'll just try to live forever. But I want to eat, brownies and ice cream, and if I'm going to live forever, it's going to be a really good life, And I always say, my goal is to live forever, and so far so good.
Yeah. You've got it sorted out.
That's a dad joke.
Yeah.
Yep. Now's a great time to mention our sponsor, some Pipe and Torch coffee. Wake you up in the morning.
I am. I mean, I taught your kids how to pile food on top of each other. I think that's a pretty good friendship.
Mike is the food piler, because he came over for dinner one night, and my kids were kind of like in awe. They were like, "You can do that?" Because he just stacked it all up on top of each other. They're just still to this day blown away. So it's the running joke. I'll say something about Mike, and they're like, "Oh, best friend Mike." Yeah. The food piler? Yep. Okay.
The food piler.
Best friend Mike.
Wait till we have steaks, just nothing but carnivore. Then I'll come out and just pile like 4 steaks on top of each other. And
oh man, I can't afford to have you over for dinner on steak night.
Yeah, I'll bring the steaks.
Oh, okay. Because he's a millionaire. He's the business owner, right?
Yeah. Just as easy as that.
Getting back to podcasts and stuff like that. One of the first podcasts that I got into that wasn't like a murder mystery, because I love those cold cases, where so and so went missing, and now we're gonna go try to find their body and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
It's I feel like it's like mental junk food, because you don't really gain anything out of it. It makes you super paranoid and things like that. But I love it. We found some girl's body down in Alabama. There's one who went missing in Utah. They never found her, but we're pretty sure the husband did it, because he committed suicide and took his kids with him, unfortunately. But it's just that those were like the first podcasts I got into. Terrible waste of time. Not that all podcasts are. Anyway, Joe Rogan. That's where you get to really start having fun. Because you're saying that Brecken, he's got great guests on, and you don't agree with all of them and stuff like that. But you want to talk about a wide variety of guests. I started listening to Joe Rogan because one of my clients was like, "Oh yeah, he had he had Jordan Peterson on, and then he had this guy on." And I'm not, I don't watch every podcast that he comes out with, but I got to experience some new things. And one of the first ones I listened to was he had a doctor on from the UK who he basically started getting death threats because he had uncovered how the sugar industry had bribed everybody to say that red meat was giving people high blood pressure and heart disease and things like that. And it turns out it was sugar.
Yeah.
And so we lived under that lie for 40 years, and no wonder America's,
well, to make everything taste good, once you got rid of that market, which was high fat and meat, right? Well, the only way to make everything else taste good was with sugar, right? So it's just been a filler for so many years.
Yep.
And thankfully, I mean, I've had my moments, right? No, I do like sweet things, but it doesn't have a hold on me, you know. And I would much rather, and meat is so much more satiating in the fact that it just keeps you going all day, right? No, I feel so much better. I'm not, when you start bulking up, bringing in some carbs is good, but I don't need that. I'm not hefty bulking up, right? So it's just
You're not trying to get to 300.
I don't think so. I mean, maybe one of these days.
I don't think so, Mike. I don't think that'll ever be a healthy part of your future. If you get to 300, it's going to be, started drinking again.
Well, that'd be a big belly,
Yeah.
Even just like a month ago, I was
sitting naked in a feed bag.
I was 262 just a few months ago, and I mean, 40 pounds sitting on the front of me would be, because I wear everything right there in the middle.
Oh yeah.
It's just straight muffin top. As soon as I gain a couple pounds,
straight muffin top.
Right to the love handles. It's a good thing I'm a great snuggler, but it's just straight. I don't have any fat on my legs. It's not on my arms. It's just right there in the middle.
You get skinny fat?
Dude, it's bad. It's a good thing I got like broad shoulders and stuff, because I would look terrible if I was morbidly obese, Yeah.
Unlike all those other people who are morbidly obese and look great.
Well, curvy, Yeah.
So you're right. Some people do carry it better. Right?
They do carry it better. Mine is, it's like, it'd be nice if I maybe I carried a little bit more on my legs. Maybe I got a little bit of that the BBL going on,
What's the BBL?
The Brazilian butt lift.
Yeah, there you go.
And maybe if I did that all the way down, but I have like no body fat, and then 10 pounds right there. Yeah.
Well, hopefully for your sake.
And I don't even drink. And they say guys that drink, right, the alcohol, it brings it to where it stays like middle of your body. But not even drinking, it didn't change. It's my dad's fault.
Because he drank?
No, genetics. Yeah.
Is your dad a big guy?
No, maybe I would say he's probably 180 right now, 6 foot. Yeah. He's not a big exerciser. I mean, he's active. He's very active, but not a big. I don't think I've ever seen him work out.
Tough to go for a run with a parrot on your shoulder, right?
You'd think, but I'm sure that bird would absolutely love to do push-ups on his back while he was doing them. It's the funniest thing, man, because that parrot, to him, she hates me.
I know.
But she hates me, but loves Dad, and she's like a dog with him. And he grabs her. He's like, "Come here, you silly bird!" And then throws her over backwards and ruffles her tummy. And she like pretends to peck his fingers like you'd be playing with a puppy. And he's just sitting there with this flipping bird. And then I walk in the camper, and he's like that. And then the bird sees me, and the instant turns into a demon. Mine, yeah.
Mine. Oh, good times. Finding Nemo.
Yeah.
Great flick.
So, I'm sure that bird would be just fine.
Trash truck's here.
Yeah. I'm sure that bird would be just fine working out. But he's just never been his thing. Well, Mom, too, she's super active, but it's all aerobic stuff. There's not really any strength training in there, there's nothing wrong with it, but just a difference. That's another one of those things that was really pushed back in the 70s and 80s was aerobic.
Oh, yeah.
Now it's...
That always just makes me think of my mom. She'd put on the Denise Austin video, and then she's doing and 1 and 2.
Oh yeah,
gotta do the leg lifts
with the leg warmers on there and the bandana.
Come on, ladies.
Yeah.
The best part was the 2 guys in the video, because it's like 3 or 4 ladies plus the instructor, and then the 2 guys in the back.
Flamboyant ones.
Yeah, very like skin tight outfits, like pink and purple, and it was. It's like, dude, how much did they have to pay you to get in there? And on the other hand, it's like they're like, no, it's cool, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. Now strength training really is for women and men. All ages is really, that's what they're finding. Well, that's the trend right now, is that's
Yeah, if you want to
at
live
any
forever.
age, if you want to live forever, strength training is the way to go. And I don't disagree, but
I think a good balance of all of it, right? Do some strength training, get out and hike and walk and do that kind of stuff. Play some sports.
Pickleball, anything high intensity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you play pickleball, high intensity.
Oh, you can, yeah.
Oh no, I know you can.
Oh.
That's another funny one where I was like, isn't that just for old people? And then Teddy Bruschi, one of the guys who used to play for the New England Patriots, and now he's on ESPN. He started talking about, pickleball, it gets really intense. I'm thinking, this is a professional athlete,
Yeah,
former.
He brings
athlete.
the intensity. You could play it like ping pong, but then you see those guys at the Olympics playing ping pong, and it's like moving. How are you making the ball do that?
And
it's like racquetball like that too, though. It can get pretty. We never did go play racquetball.
Yeah, geez, why didn't you invite me again?
You just kept saying no. You hurt my feelings. Yeah.
Sorry. Saturday mornings, we get a lot done, and I like to sleep in too. So
that's okay. Well, I do as well. It's that's not. We don't go there till 8:30. Yeah, that is sleeping in, man. You sleep until 10 or what?
Well, till 8:30.
Oh.
Or 8. Yeah. And then I make breakfast. I'm a big. I like breakfast, and I like to make breakfast either with or for the kids.
Oh, I love doing that Saturdays too. I used to make some really awesome cinnamon rolls.
Yeah.
Honestly, I've never got into baking much, but I made some really good cinnamon rolls for.
That seems like about 4 too many steps for me. I'm like, okay, bacon and eggs, sausage and eggs, pancakes. I don't even like waffles. I feel like it's twice as much work, and then they don't taste as good as pancakes. So I know this is going to be wildly unpopular, but no waffles for this guy.
My kids prefer crepes.
Oh, yep. So love me some crepes, especially ham and cheese crepes.
Oh no, lemon and sugar.
Huh? We'll have to try that. We like
it's
to do
British tradition, so they have Pancake Day. It's a big thing, and
crepes are French, Mike.
They are. So English people don't like the French, so they called crepes pancakes, and that's what I was raised with. So the first time I had one of these weird American fluffy pancakes, flapjack. I'll have because Mom used to make these crepes, and I'd have a dozen of them. And so we got to IHOP for the first time when we moved to the United States. And I was like, I'll have a dozen pancakes. And
they're like, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the stack came out, and I was like, what was that?
Hey, these all pancakes.
They're not pancakes. Come now.
Hi.
All right. Better close out, huh?
All right. Well, thank you, everybody, for drinking Pipe and Torch coffee and joining us for the Unrivaled Potential Podcast, because you plus God equals unrivaled potential.